Yes, go to sleep mode. But yeah, no, Sebastian was one of those characters where I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, there's like we must be collectively losing our minds, and I'm like, I guess so, right? Like, you know, or like when he's like, he finds that kid in the cave, and and he runs off. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like he's like the fucking barista at Starbucks didn't get his order fast enough. I'm like, you just fought a nightmare monster with like barbed wire wrapped around its face and a woman strapped to its back. Like, I mean, and you're like, man, we must be losing our minds. Like, okay, well, I guess so. And I like how he said it in like he's announcing a radio program. Like something. He sounds like a radio DJ. It's like he's like, thank you for joining us on Mix 97.3. Today's best hits of the 80s and 90s. We must be losing our minds. That's what it sounds like. Pop radio. I'm like, Sebastian, why are you talking like you're on NPR?
Yeah, right. And on that note, welcome to B.R.A.P. And hey, big welcome back to John, man. We missed you, man. It's been.
I know it's been way too long. I'm very, very happy to be back on the Basement Radio Arcade podcast with my boys.
Yeah, good to have you back, man.
Yep. It's been too long. Unfortunately, just work and working all that other shit going on. Oh, I should probably retweet the podcast, right? I should probably do that.
Yeah, no worries.
But anyway, no, it's awesome to be back with you guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. We missed having you on, and look forward to talking some video games with you, and I can't even talk tonight. We want you to give us a little bit of the skinny regards to PAX East, and you're going to be heading up there tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's a thing. Myself and a few other of the members of Super Deformed Games Cast, which of course you can catch every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be at myself and Torpedo and Matt. We're going to be at PAX tomorrow.
Oh, Torpedo's coming up.
Torpedo's coming and Matt's coming, and I'm going to be there. We're going to be all in one hotel room. We are doing a live podcast with all three of us from the hotel room tomorrow night, and Jeff and Brandon and Gabe and hopefully Steve. Everybody's gonna call in, and apparently Susan Arndt is going to crash our podcast.
I saw that she said she was going to crash it.
So that'll be cool. And then we'll be going around doing some interviews, playing some games, and of course I'm on a panel with Susan Arndt and Kyle Orland on Friday called "The Hate Is the Hobby" at 12:30 in the Condor Theater.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, and apparently it might be recorded, which is cool.
Nice.
But it is just basically talking about hatred in the gaming community and what we can do to combat it, and whether or not we should combat it. You guys, anybody who knows me on Twitter knows where I stand on that stuff. I go in pretty hard on that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm super fucking looking forward to it. So it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. We definitely look forward to getting your some of your feedback and hearing about some of the games that you played at PAX.
Oh man, I can't wait to play that Bulletstorm. We play some a little Bulletstorm remaster, so it's gonna be good.
Nice. All right. And actually, on that note, we're gonna have Mike, aka Inferno from Four Guys with Quarters, and TXR. He's actually gonna be joining us next week as well. You're gonna be meeting up with him actually at PAX.
I'm gonna be drinking with him at PAX.
Nice. So we'll get his input next week as well. So. Definitely want to tune in for that. So,
Enrique, I want to use this. Can I use tonight to make another small announcement?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So apparently, I might get Twitter verified. So, just to throw it out there. I may have a blue tick mark, so we'll see.
Those haters gonna come at you, man.
Oh yeah,
John, watch out, man.
Remember those of us, your brothers without the blue tick mark.
So that way, when Mr. Negative shows up,
Basement Radio podcast. What the hell is this? Shit, I'm on the wrong podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know these guys.
Who are these guys with their 389 subs?
Hey, we've only got a little over 700. So I mean, we're not overflowing with subs. So
yeah, we love each and every one of them.
We can use them though. We'll take some more.
I like to consider ourselves the Louis Vuitton of gaming podcast.
Yeah, I could see that. More of a
Quality.
like I feel like if SDGC was Mario, you'd be like Wario.
More. How about
I'm just kidding. You'd be Luigi.
or
Like
Link?
Mario and Luigi. No, not Link, because Link doesn't. Because Link
Doesn't talk.
No, yeah, he doesn't talk, and we definitely talk. So we want to shut the fuck. Anyway, hey, video games, man. Let's talk about them video games.
Yeah, and real quick, I just want to say a big fuck you to Dan Snyder, and then we can start the show. I'm a big Redskins fan, and there's just bad stuff going on with the franchise. So
When isn't there bad stuff going on with that franchise? Man?
I'm telling you, man, this shit's crazy. It's terrible. My wife's laughing at me. She's a Steelers fan, so it's ugly here at the house sometimes. All right, so we have a bunch of news-related items to talk about. Why don't we get through some like miscellaneous things real quick before we get to the meat of the podcast? Because we'll be talking about Nintendo, some Uncharted related news. We'll be talking about Scorpio, and we learned pretty much got a confirmation of the first game that's going to be on Scorpio. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about some miscellaneous stuff that just came out more recently. I know last week we didn't cover this, but this came out last week that the PlayStation VR sold about a little bit over 900,000 units.
915,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were projecting about 1 million, I think, the first year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, 1 million the first 6 months.
First 6 months? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it, and I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that it's doubled the amount of sales of the HTC Vive and the Oculus. You guys heard this?
I mean that's not a very high bar, because those things, I wouldn't call them like, fucking sales. I wouldn't say that either of those have reached the pinnacle of what I would call amazing sales. But I mean, still, there is something to be said for the fact that PSVR is by far, like, I think it has sold far more than both these units combined. So I mean, that's a feather in Sony's cap,
Mm-hmm.
and there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was actually kind of surprised to hear that number. I didn't think just because VR is newer technology to gaming, and I just didn't see a lot of people going out and buying it. I didn't think it was going to sell 1 million. But that's good to hear. It's good for the industry. I think hopefully they show more games at E3 this year, which I think they will. We all know about Resident Evil 7 on VR. I don't have any plans on picking up PlayStation VR anytime soon. Now, if it drops price, like if it drops like $100, I might consider it, but not right now. I'm gonna wait.
Take that to bed, wifey.
Shit, my wife would kill me, man. If I walked in with a headset in bed, she'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
You sit in bed looking like you are part of Daft Punk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'd be waving my hands around. She'd be like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. John, any plans of getting PSVR soon?
Probably not, simply because there are so many games coming out this year. I just bought a Switch. I can't justify the cost right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, because and I'll talk about this more at length, but I really, 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 really love the Switch. And I've got my Switch, I got my PS4. I will probably pick up an Xbox Scorpio, maybe. I've got so many fucking games to play that I don't have time for 3 or 4 consoles. I just don't. So will I pick up a PSVR? I'd like one, but I'm probably not going to get one. So.
Yeah, not to mention most of these games are not like quick. They're with the exception of Resident Evil 7, which I feel like Resident Evil 7 represents what that platform could be. Mm-hmm.
I feel like it represents what it needs to be. But having said that, excuse me, bourbon makes me burp. Plus, I had a huge fucking milkshake tonight.
Nice.
I had one of those mint Arby's milkshakes, dude. Oh, so
did you get the meat, whatever it's called, that's fucking sandwich it's on now?
No, I just had the milkshake, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's like the Arby's like meat monster. It comes out like once a year, around the time of year. It's like fucking like
So many opportunities there. I'm not going to take them though.
what's that?
It says so many opportunities to be in.
Nah, yeah, don't do it. Okay, let's move along.
But I'm not going to tell you I didn't want to. But it's one of those things where I get the sense that Sony was taken aback by PSVR's success, and they really have no discernible map forward for this thing, right? I mean, Farpoint comes out in sometime in May, I believe. But aside from that, like May 17th. Okay, aside from that, somebody name me a big PSVR game coming down the pipe.
I can't think of any.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. I'm hoping they show more content at E3, which I think they will.
I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, I think E3 is going to. I think PSVR's presence at E3 is going to be very telling. I feel like if PSVR has an extremely small presence at E3, then I don't want to say cash it in, but at the same time, not a good look for a piece of hardware that's less than a year old.
And then we have to consider the fact that their competitor is coming down the line early next year.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you guys didn't hear?
No. Yeah, the Xbox. Reality.
Xbox VR. It's $200 cheaper, better resolution, and most importantly, requires no sensors. You just put it on and it tracks.
I still don't think people are going to buy it.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like having a better piece of equipment coming down the line that soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to apply some pressure, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't. Both these devices need software. I mean, we all know that. I mean, that's yeah.
They need games like Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got a game release for the Xbox One. Voodoo Vince, April 18th.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's kind of my.
I do.
That was kind of my thing too, John. I was like, oh, okay.
$15, 1,000 game score. I never played it. Yeah, I'll grab it. Why not?
Yeah. How much?
Yeah, to be fair, I never played Voodoo Vince.
So. I haven't either, so I'm interested. It's just, it won't be like immediate for me, but I'll definitely be picking it up at some point. Yeah. I should say definitely. It depends on the impressions and how it goes.
I'll give you Enrique's quick take. I bought it day one for the OG Xbox and played it for a couple days and didn't like it. I had no interest, and it's. I guess my understanding is the developer actually. I guess this wasn't Phil Spencer's idea per se. It was actually the developer that wanted to do this.
Yeah, but it only happened because Phil was on the team originally working on that game, back on the OG Xbox.
Okay.
And it's a fave of his.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Begs the question, Conquer. I know a lot of people have been asking about that.
I could care less about Conquer.
Yeah, I'm actually with John on that. I don't think Conquer has a place in this day and age. Conquer was something when it released, but not today. Not in this year. It would not do well.
What about a game like Banjo?
Banjo is different.
This is why I am like I wasn't jumping up and down in joy for the Crash Bandicoot games like some other people were. Like, oh my god, they're redoing Crash. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'll grab them. But I'm not. I mean, the days of animalistic mascots are long past, and like you think back to the age when you had and people were just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, right? Like you had Bubsy, which is a fucking godless abomination. You know that bat. You remember the bat? What was the bat? You know the fucking bat? There was a bat, and it was like Shadow the Bat or something like that. But he looked like Sonic, but he was a bat.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you had that. You had Blasto for the PS4 or for the PS1. He basically looked like a fucking Pixar guy. You had who else? You had Spyro. You had
don't forget Blinks.
Blinks. Oh God, Blinks. You had Gex. I mean, too many. So yeah, I don't know. I don't hold.
Blasto was not a good game, by the way.
Blasto was a fucking terrible game.
It was a fucking bad game.
like Banjo-Kazooie, whatever, Conquer, whatever. I played Conquer, and I didn't. I was like, this game sucks. I was like, it was popular because it was this cute squirrel who liked to shove his face in tits, And people were like, "Oh, that's hilarious," and I'm like, "Okay, I mean, I don't get it, but all right." Oh, I get it. He's got nuts. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm like, okay, it's fucking stupid. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have the attachment to these things that some people do, but I mean, to each his or her own, I guess.
So you think it's one of those things where you think you want it, but you really may not want it?
Yeah, like I would say that Conquer, or I would say that one thing I will say in deference to Sam is that is Banjo-Kazooie more culturally relevant in gaming than fucking Conquer? Yeah, but Conquer's a fucking skid mark in the underwear of gaming. Like, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Like that shit. Yeah. And I was like,
literally, almost.
Everybody was like, my brother was like, my little brother, he's 2 years younger than me. He was like, I was like, it's a fucking squirrel, a disgusting rodent who likes tits. Like, okay.
Hey, but who doesn't like a squirrel that likes tits?
I'm like, I don't get it.
I don't relate to that.
Who cares about this? This is stupid, and it didn't even play well. It wasn't even a good game. People liked it because it was a cute squirrel that liked boobs and ass, and he smoked, and he made crude jokes. I'm like, this is
smoke cigars.
Dumbest shit.
As I said, it would not do well today.
No, it really wouldn't. No, just like, but that Bubsy. I tell you what. Let me know when the Bubsy remaster is coming.
Yeah, like I wonder how many people put like a lot of hours into Conker's Bad Fur Day and the Rare Replay collection.
I wonder how many kids open up Conquer 64 and like immediately hated their parents. Like, I wonder how many sad kids got that under the tree and were like, "Why did my parents? This is because mommy drinks, isn't it?"
I think at the time it was. I mean, it was popular. I liked it at the time, but I don't think I went back into the Rare Replay to play, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't play this anymore."
I couldn't play it ever.
You know?
Yeah, I could see that. There's some games that over time just kind of don't hold up.
I played through it back on N64, and I mean, like what you're saying, John, it is true. You know, you got the laugh out of it because of the poop and fart jokes at that time, but I don't know if that kind of thing would fly like now.
No, it wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because I mean, it was like it had like the little movie references and things like that, but I just don't think. Yeah, it might just be one of those things where people think they really want it because of nostalgia's sake, but what would that game even be now? Like a Conquer game, what would it even be? Because it can't be that, but what would it be? Like more the crude humor?
Probably. I mean, that's kind of like what the game's known for, you know?
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's why they haven't, really, you always hear Xbox fans, wanting another Conquer, and I think a lot of that too came from when I think didn't Phil wear a Conquer T-shirt or tease Conquer, and then eventually he was on Project Spark or something.
I don't know if it was Phil, but someone did. Yeah,
I'm waiting for Phil Spencer to come out at E3 with that Conquer shirt on.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did already, and I thought that Conquer made it to Project Spark.
No, if he comes out to E3 with a Conquer shirt on, that doesn't mean that there's a Conquer game coming. That means that the fucking apocalypse is happening.
The apocalypse is happening.
That's a sign that God is displeased with his children, and he's going to take care of business, because that's the end.
All right. On that note, we have some Destiny 2 news, which I'm fucking super excited for because I'm looking to get back into Destiny. You guys, Eric, you really didn't get into Destiny too much, right?
Off and on.
What about you, John?
I haven't played Destiny in like 3 months.
Okay, Sam.
So much to play.
Off and on, it kind of lost me over time. I go back in and out, every now and then, but it's not appealing.
Yeah, see, the problem like with Destiny is like if you're in that world and you're doing it and your light level's high, then you can really rock with anybody that wants to rock with you. But if you're like a low light level, trying to play with your friends who are higher light levels, like it's like your little brother trying to go to the park with you. And you're gonna go check out girls with it. It's like, you're bold with us,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make like the best experience,
Yeah, I played a lot after the Taken King because the Taken King was just awesome. It was fun, like Destiny with a story.
Yeah.
But I haven't done the last 2 raids, to be honest. I just haven't done them. Haven't had a chance. I've just been busy with other stuff. But I'm definitely going to get back into Destiny 2, though.
They've gotten a lot of my money. It's just I haven't really gotten like a lot of the gameplay out of it.
Shit, they got a lot of people's money.
Yeah.
I think we broke it down.
Didn't get mine.
I think we broke it down one episode that when it was all said and done, the cost of Destiny was half as much as of a game console.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're making money, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. So they're gonna be back. They're gonna be bringing back old raids, current light levels. Looks like you can transfer your original Destiny character to the new game.
No,
their appearance.
Yeah,
their appearance.
The way they look. If you hit level 20, I believe, and you completed the Black Garden story mission.
That's right, but you basically have to grind all over again.
There's a lot of caveats just to get your character.
Yeah.
But they're saying that it's like with all the new improvements and stuff, and the new weapons and stuff, that it's going to be worth it. So we'll see. We'll see. Some people are kind of upset about it, and I can see like people being mad. Like, you put in hundreds of hours in this game and you can't carry anything with you. That kind of sucks a little bit. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say Destiny 2 is the most ambiguous AAA game coming out this fall as to whether it'll be received well or not. They really have to make a good impression.
Yeah.
Oh, Bungie seems pretty high on it, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Yeah,
it's coming out no matter what. They better be high on it.
Yeah, they keep counting. They keep counting that it's going to have a story. It's going to have a better story than the first one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. See what happens. That multiplayer was great though. I definitely enjoyed the multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer is like really good. But I'll definitely be on the sideline, kind of watching.
Dude, you gotta get that shit day one, man. You gotta come on with us, man.
Oh no, I don't. That's how you fall into the trap last time. Man. It's like, you gotta do this. It was like, hey, where are you guys? Oh, we're over here playing this now. Fuck off.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Eric. I'll be waiting.
Yeah, didn't that happen recently?
Lie. It happened every time.
Oops.
You get that new DLC? We're gonna be rocking out on it.
Yeah, come on, Eric. Get the new DLC. Week later.
All right, I'm in.
All right, we're done, man. Oh shit, that's so funny.
Nah, I'll be watching. I'll be spectating.
Shit. Well, I'll be there day one, man. I just need to figure out which console I'm gonna get it for. That's my only issue right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Huh?
You get the Switch version.
Switch. It's not even coming out on the Switch. That could lead to bad jokes, man.
My bad.
Joke around like that. Huh?
My bad.
Yeah. I feel like there was some other Xbox related news. John, what did you think of the Xbox Game Pass thing?
I thought it was actually brilliant. I think it's a great way. So I don't think it's going to matter as much for people who are established on the platform, like Sam, for example.
Right.
Like
newcomers, however.
Newcomers who haven't played a lot of Xbox One exclusives. Like, for example, let's say like for Sam, like on the, and I don't know what game's going to be available, but I guarantee you it's not going to be anything incredibly recent. It's going to be older games because it wouldn't make any sense to put brand new fucking releases on a $10 paid subscription service. That makes no sense. So it'll be older games. Probably, I'm guessing like some remastered games, backwards compatibility stuff, and also like older like Rise. So Rise: Son of Rome is a great example of what could be on there, right?
Right now on the preview form, they've got Halo 5 and Gears Ultimate, Mad Max, Tekken Tag Tournament, which is a back compat game.
Yeah. So
I want to say there's like two other back compat games, but I'm not remembering what they are. Maybe it was Red Dead Redemption. I don't know. And then there was a couple of sports titles. Then there was one other big one. I can't remember. It was a fighting game. Soul Calibur. One of the Soul Caliburs is on there right now. But that's just the preview. There's going to be like 10 times as many when it launches.
So I guess what I'm saying is just like for somebody like Sam, it doesn't make any sense because Sam doesn't
buy games.
Yeah, Sam buys game, but also like for example, Halo Wars 2. Like let's say Sam wants to play Halo Wars 2. He doesn't want to play like fucking Rise. Because Sam's like, I've played Rise. Like, I played that game 3 years ago and it was okay. Why would I want to play it again? Certainly not worth paying an extra $10 a month for to play older games. But for somebody who's new to the platform who needs to dip their toe into the Xbox One family of games, I think it's great. And I think it is indicative of Microsoft moving Xbox forward as more of a service than anything else, which I think is smart. I think that's the way to go. A lot of people disparage them for putting their games on PC, but I said that. I think it's a great fucking movie. More games on more platforms is always good. And it's Microsoft
their platform. It's Windows.
Well,
so.
no, but not only that, but I mean, Microsoft is the one benefiting because they're making more money. So
exactly. Well, yeah.
More money
And
means
not
more
to mention,
games.
I mean, for like a kid, like some 13, 14-year-old kid, think about it. If they just get an Xbox for Christmas and like 2 games, this is economic. They just subscribe to this, and that's for like $120 a year for the price of 2 full price games. There you go. They've got like 100 games they can play.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, if you're a newcomer to the system, I think it's great. If you're established in the Xbox platform, I don't
Sounds like an entitlement program.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's great. I don't know what you guys think about it. I think it's actually really, really cool, and I think it's the direction that a lot of like, for example, I think Sony could learn a thing or two.
Yeah, because PS Now is like what is it, like $100 for a year?
That's the discounted rate.
That's the discounted rate, right?
No, it's not $100 for a year. Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's like
John,
$100.
that is the discounted rate. It's more than that if you go by a month.
Yep.
No shit, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
No, so they can stand to learn a lot from doing a program like this. With PS Now.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I didn't realize it was that expensive.
It's the beauty of competition.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, like I was telling, like we talked about this. I just wanted to get your thoughts, John, because you weren't with us last week. We talked about this a little bit. I think, for me, I was telling Sam, like if there's some games on there that I haven't played, I have the option of maybe buying them at a discounted rate or just trying them out. I would, because I do this with EA sometimes with EA Access. I'll sign up for a month.
Right.
Like this month, I'm going to sign up for EA Access just so I can play Mass Effect Andromeda a week early.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
and then you get a discount if you buy it while you have EA Access.
Yep.
And then another thing is that with Game Pass or EA Access, you actually download the games, unlike PS Now.
Yeah, and I think that is the key feature to that whole thing.
I'd rather download than stream. That's just my.
I think anybody would prefer to download or stream. The minute they announced it as that, I was like, yeah, that's a smart move.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Why don't we? I was going to say switch.
Why don't we switch?
Yeah. Why don't we switch to Nintendo? So John, you have your Switch there, right?
I do.
You want to hold it up and show
the world?
Show the world.
Switch it up a little bit. Here we go.
I think you're unzipping your pants. What's going on over there?
Hey, I keep my baby nice and safe. Okay. First of all, to unzip your pants, you have to be wearing pants. I cannot unzip what I do not possess at this current time.
Yeah.
But I'll stand up and show you guys if you want.
No.
Don't do that.
You guys think I'm screwing around? Mandy Beast in chat. I didn't see this. Says John, congrats on the panel, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. When somebody in chat says they didn't have time to talk you a story before, so it's not hard to have a better one.
I think he was talking about
referring to Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, here's my Switch. Switching it up. This little console here, I've spent all week with it, and I got to tell you, and for all you crapaholics out there, get ready. There, if Nintendo plays its cards right, I've had too much bourbon already. This could overtake the PS4 as my favorite console this gen.
Wow.
Because
Really?
because people say, "Oh, John, you're a Sony pony," but no, I just like video games, and I love what the Switch represents. It is to innovate. You don't need flashy graphics. You don't need amazing set pieces. To innovate, what you need are providing gamers with new ways to play games, and that's what the Switch does. And you can literally say that there is nothing else like this on the market right now, at all. Mm-hmm. There is nothing like this. There is a very, very small market, a very slim, tiny little gulf between the PS4 and the Xbox One, right? Honestly, the boxes look different. They both play bombastic video games with big set pieces. You got your Gears of War, you got your Uncharted 4. They both look great. At the end of the day, aside from first-party titles, there is nothing each of these consoles can do that the other one can't do just as well. But this represents something that neither of those consoles can do. It represents being able to take console quality games on the go, whatever you want. And I have docked this thing and undocked it, and Nintendo fucking did it. Like, this thing works amazingly well. Like, the amount of time when you dock it and undock it, flipping back and forth between TV to handheld is like less than a second. It's instantaneous.
It is instantaneous, yeah.
And I actually, but you know what? I like playing in handheld more, or in handheld mode better. Because this to me just feels more organic. It feels like this is the way that the console was meant to be played. Zelda actually runs. And let's address the elephant in the room, right? So there's been a lot of talk about how Zelda runs better on the handheld in 720p as opposed to on the TV at 900p. I think the reason for that, of course, that people start to worry. Well, is that going to become the norm for all Nintendo Switch games? I don't think so, because I think Zelda was made a Switch launch title late into its development, and I think it got caught in the unfortunate position of having to be ported to a different system very late in its dev cycle. I don't expect this to be the issue or the norm for Nintendo.
I can actually give you the exact tech reason it happens, because I've looked into this.
Go ahead,
basically, in dock mode, as you said, it's 900p versus 720p, so you get a 44% higher pixel count, but the memory bandwidth doesn't increase. It's the same amount of space for stuff to get pushed through, even though docked mode, it was supposed to be a higher memory bandwidth.
That sounds
and it just wasn't ready by the time. So, yeah, it's a small thing. They can fix that easy.
But John, I haven't noticed like that much of a performance difference where I'm like, oh shit, it sucks. Playing on TV.
I think it's rather noticeable in parts. I mean, in Zelda, when you're running through some patches of tall grass, I mean, there are some noticeable frame rate dips that I have not occurred or not seen, have not occurred for me in handheld mode. So I mean, and if you look at Digital Foundry's video, I know people like to give Digital Foundry a lot of shit, but I mean, there is no better. I mean, they are the best at what they do, just like Wolverine. They're the best they are at what they do, and it's pretty apparent in the Digital Foundry videos that it does run better on handheld. But having said that, I mean, I think the Switch is just an absolutely brilliant piece of tech. And what I like about it compared to other Nintendo consoles is that this is the first Nintendo console I have probably ever played that truly feels incredibly premium. I mean, this feels like a premium, expensive product. I mean, the Wii U was garbage, like from the UI to that ridiculous Fisher Price toy on the gamepad. It was terrible. The Wii was plastic. It felt like plastic trash. The GameCube was ugly as hell.
The GameCube looked like Fisher Price too.
It did. The controllers looked like baby's first controller. I mean, the GameCube controllers felt nice.
Baby's first
terrible. but the Switch not only looks and feels like a premium device, but that UI is nice and clean and lean and very, very, very attractive. It's kind of a sea change from what we're used to from Nintendo, like, because the 3DS and the Wii U had kind of their, cutesy, Nintendo themed stuff. And, this is, when you went to the eShop, they had a little icon jumping up and down, and he was happy that you just bought a game. And you're like, oh, hi, how you doing? But now it's just, it's very Spartan. It's very, very clean. It has a dark mode, which I really appreciate because I've got chronic dry eye, so I appreciate stuff like that. I mean, Nintendo has got to nail. There are things that Nintendo just has to nail down. I was disappointed at the lack of a trophy and achievement system because I think in 2017 gamers expect that.
Actually, John, you tweeted that out. You had a really good idea with.
So like I had a really, and I'm like, I did this when I was running. I was running through downtown and I come up with ideas when I run, and I was like, if I was Reggie, I would have said, get me some achievements, call them coins, assign them a score, and when they pop, when they ding, have them make the classic coin noise from Super Mario Brothers.
And then you could have done something for 100% completion, like a rupee or a star,
or like a 1-up mushroom.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have made the 1-up noise. And like. It took me 10 seconds to come up with that. I'm a fucking idiot. And so, like, I can only imagine what Nintendo could have come up with. I mean, how do you not like? And that's the thing. Like,
That's a missed opportunity.
They're made for an achievement system.
Well, and that's the thing, is like we have to criticize the things we love. Right, because we don't criticize the things we love, then they don't get better because nothing is perfect and everything is.
Say that again, John. Criticism. Say that one more time.
We have to absolutely. We have to criticize
message
love, and I'm going to look right into the camera. And so for people who I know are listening to this podcast, hint, hint, you have to criticize the things that you love, okay? Because nothing is perfect and everything exists in a spectrum, okay? So when you have something that you love, the only way to make it better, there's always room for improvement, is to criticize that thing. When you criticize something, you are thereby telling the developer or creator of said thing, this is great, could be better, right? So I'll get off my soapbox now. But a few things Nintendo has to do, in my opinion.
John, I just want to say something real quick.
What's up, man?
Someone who just heard you say that is yelling at you, saying, neutral!
Oh, of course they are, yeah. Fucking neutral. But I do have pretty eyes. Thank you, Viper. But, there are certain things, and after this I'll shut up, and because I want to hear from everybody else. I'm talking way too much. It's because I haven't been on B.R.A.P. in a long time.
Because you haven't been on, man. That's why.
Yeah,
You haven't been on. It's fine, dude.
But there are certain things that Nintendo I feel has to do before the end of the fiscal year, and several. I mean, for one, I feel like there needs to be a trophy system of some kind. Do the coins thing, Nintendo. Reggie, I know you're listening because B.R.A.P. is incredibly awesome, man. You want to listen. Do the coin thing for achievements. Second, there has to be a way to get saves off of that Switch. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but your save games are tied to that Switch console. There is no way, there's no cloud to upload them to, that you cannot put them on an SD drive. You can't even save them to the cartridge. And I'm over here like, my fucking PlayStation 1 saved games to a card. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I had a memory card. Yeah. So I mean, come on. Now, having said that, I think all these things, I would be stunned if all these things are not coming in the paid service that Nintendo is going to launch this fall. I think these things are coming. I think, and if they do come, like I think they will, I think that right there is all the evidence. You can close the book on it. The Switch was supposed to launch this fall, but they were
yes,
like,
it was.
But they were like, we got to get this fucking thing out for Zelda.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have this thing out for Zelda. Have to. Bottom line, I will fucking take that to the bank. The Switch was supposed to launch this fall, and yes, Maddie and Chad, if you get a broken Switch, your saves right now are gone. They're done. Yep. Dunsies. No way to save them. That, to me, as much as I love the Switch, is absolutely unacceptable. And this, children, is why you have to criticize the things that you love, because nothing is perfect. But you know, yes, they have to. These are things that have to be implemented, especially in 2017. Like it's. But the thing is, people say, "Oh, Nintendo's tone deaf. Nintendo's tone deaf," and yes, that's the easy answer. And yes, Nintendo has made some incredibly boneheaded decisions in the past, but I don't think this is a matter of Nintendo being tone deaf. I do think that these things are coming this fall when Nintendo launches. Like, I fully expect that Nintendo is not. I expect, and maybe this is a fucking pipe dream, but I do expect that Nintendo is smart enough to know that there needs to be a way to take saves off of the console itself and put them in the cloud, in the card. So I will be stunned, legit stunned, if you cannot do this by this fall when that online service launches. I'll be stunned. I'll be stunned if none of this stuff comes to pass, right? But again, that's just more evidence that, you know, it's not an issue of Nintendo being tone deaf. It's an issue of Nintendo rushing this thing to fucking launch, and that's why it's so half-baked.
Well, they were also criticized for not including certain features like Netflix.
I don't give a shit about any of that.
But they've already commented now that stuff's coming. I mean, it is
coming, which is more evidence that the rest of the shit we all want is probably fucking coming in the fall. I guarantee you the Netflix shit, like, you know, your movie, your TV apps, your cloud saves, probably your achievement system, and I mean, hell, let's look at this, right? Let's examine the evidence we have. So we're gonna do a little sleuthing together right here on Basement Radio, right? So I'm gonna bring my Switch out of sleep mode, right? I'm gonna tap this thing 3 times. Like, I just love using this fucking thing. Like, I want to play Horizon, but like, It's weird. Like when I'm playing Zelda, I'm like, I really want to play fucking Horizon, and then when I'm playing Horizon, I'm like, I really want to go play Zelda.
John, I go through the same thing. I go back and forth between both games.
So let's check this out. I'm going to add friend, right? So everybody knows that right now we're using friend codes, which is unintuitive because friend codes are fucking stupid. But at least I don't need you. At least we don't need to exchange them. I can just give you mine. So there is that. Having said that, you can also search for local users, search for users you played with, search with friend code, and so there are other ways that we're going to be able to. And you'll notice that every time Reggie or somebody answers a question about this, they say at this time. You can't do this at this time. Like for save game states, at this time, there's no way to take them off of the Nintendo Switch at this time. These things, I truly believe these things are coming when Nintendo launches that paid service. They need to get it at the door, and they need to get it right the fucking first time, because the Switch is the Switch is off to a very strong start, an incredibly strong, like from a sales statement.
Sold almost as well as the Wii in Japan.
Well, and it sold better than the Wii in Europe. It is not just, the entirety of Europe, and I fully expect that it is going to dominate sales in March on the NPD. It is going to dominate. And the thing is, it's going to take NPD by a mile. Like it's not going to be close. And I do believe that games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will be enough to bridge the gap. But Nintendo, when they launch that online paid service, there has to be an end game. They have to deliver, and I fully expect if they do that, and Super Mario Odyssey launches this fall, I think Nintendo is sitting pretty. One retailer, I think it was GameStop, was even quoted as saying, like looking at Switch sales, was quoted as saying Nintendo is back, which is a big statement.
Didn't they say that the Switch sales were stronger than PS4, Xbox One?
I don't know about that.
That effect.
I don't know about that. PS4 sold 1 million consoles on fucking one day. That which is crazy. But right now, the Switch is performing incredibly well, and it's performing incredibly well despite its numerous flaws. Because it is flawed, it's missing things, and I think if Nintendo can right the ship, and if they can deliver those things that gamers expect this fall, I think Nintendo has something really, really special on their hands. I think they've got something huge on their hands. Mm-hmm. That's just me. That's what I believe. But yeah. If Nintendo brings all those things, and the Switch could very well end up being my favorite console this generation by a country mile. Wow, that's huge. That's what happens, kids, when you are not corporate fucking slaves.
Yeah, that's a good point. You enjoy games like Zelda.
I'll step off my soapbox now, but
yeah, I agree with you, John. I think that the biggest differentiator for them, like you said, is the fact that you can play your games anywhere. I'm taking the Switch to work tomorrow during my lunch break. I'll be playing Zelda.
I can't bring my Switch to work. I fucking wish I could, because that's all I want to do all day is play my goddamn Switch.
Yeah, I can't do that with the Xbox. Can't do that with the PlayStation. But I can play a game like Zelda, which is phenomenal. I can play that anywhere on the go, and that's the appeal to me. Even going back. I know they showed Skyrim. Even though Skyrim's the last gen game, shit, I would love.
I'll take Skyrim wherever I go.
Yeah, a game like that big, like just to be able to play it anywhere.
Oh hell yeah, man, dude! I'm all over.
Give me Dark Souls on the go.
Oh, don't you guys have never seen me again, dude? If Dark Souls came out on the Switch, I think what the Switch needs is to launch down like a big exclusive. Like, can you imagine if, like, let's say Capcom said, we're making a new Dino Crisis, we're doing for that series what we did for Resident Evil, but it's only on Switch. So, and a little E3 tidbit for you guys, in regards to the Switch. So, who here knows who Retro Games are? You guys know Retro? Okay. Makers of Metroid Prime, right? So they were recently asked. They were asked, what are you guys working on? Well, we've been working on a big game for the past 3 years. They've been pouring 3 years into this game, right? Well, what is it? What's the game? And they tweeted out, "It's delicious," with a picture of a prime rib. So I'm not a betting man on most occasions, but I would be willing to bet that we are going to see a Metroid Prime reveal at E3.
Megaton.
I would
That
not
would be fucking huge.
I would not be surprised if we saw and also you have to consider that because I've done investigations before, and you have to consider the fact that Reggie said, Reggie was asked about Metroid Prime, and he said, "Look, I'm not going to talk about what we may or may not have down in the pipeline, but talk to me again in a year and see what our slate of games look like in regards to that question about Metroid Prime."
Sean, Frankie said Metroid Prime Federation. No, Frankie, don't jinx it.
No. But I honestly, God, I think we're going to see another Metroid Prime at E3, and I think it's going to release either. I think it's going to release. I think you're going to see a release date of early next year.
Yeah, that would be so huge.
That's what I think.
So huge.
And Super Mario Odyssey is going to fucking clean up.
But you're right. You're right, John. Like the console does feel like a high end console compared to other Nintendo consoles. It's definitely a change of pace for them. It really is. I mean, I don't think people give them enough credit with the design of the console. It really is. I've heard some people having issues with the glass getting scratched.
It's not glass; it's plastic.
Or plastic getting scratched. Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't had that happen with mine. I mean, I've put it in. I've been able to take it in and out and haven't had any issue with scratch or anything. But I've heard other people have that issue.
I haven't even I don't know. I haven't been exactly what I call fucking careful about docking it, and my Switch is completely flawless. So it is what it is.
Yeah. There have been some reports of syncing issues with the Joy-Cons. My experience hasn't been that. I haven't had any issues with syncing. I did pick up the Pro Controller. Did you pick one up?
I did, actually. I've barely used it because I love playing in handheld too much. But I will say that the Pro Controller feels a lot better than the DualShock 4.
It does. I was thinking, this is what Sony needs.
I mean, that would make it. If this was a PS4 Elite controller, it'd be great.
Oh yeah, it'd be good. Good. Yeah, so I'm excited. It's truth be told, I only picked up this console because my 7-year-old wanted it. It was he wanted a DS, and I was like, well, there's a new console coming out. It's a handheld and a game console, and his eyes lit up. And he actually, I was telling Sam the story earlier. He actually saved up some money, did some work, and took some of his birthday money, and he put $160 in for the console. Nice. Yeah, and so it's really cool to see him, and even my 3-year-old see both boys kind of sit there and just be in awe watching Zelda. It's the one time that I've seen them sit next to each other, and they're just staring at the TV. They're just mesmerized.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. And speaking of Zelda, I mean, what a fucking fantastic game. And by the way, I know I said it earlier, I did call it 98 Metacritic right now. Mm-hmm. With 100 reviews? Is that right?
I think so. You know what? I can check, actually. Let's see how many reviews that...
I mean, I've seen people say that some of the reviews have said this is the best Zelda game ever. I'm like, well, you could probably debate that. But it's, I don't even know how many hours I put into it. I haven't put a lot of hours into it. A couple only because I've been going back and forth between Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another great fucking game. Which, Sam, I know you picked it up. So
actually, not as many reviews as we thought. 73.
73. Okay.
Which is still a lot of fucking reviews.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful game.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny when the game loaded up, I was kind of I was in awe, and all this nostalgia, all these feelings came back to me that I haven't felt in a long time. because I have such great memories with that franchise. But Eric, you just picked it up for the Wii U, right?
Yeah, just came today actually.
Have you played it yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to start it up. But my daughter was really cute. She opened the UPS package and said, "We have to go put this in and play it."
Dude, you gotta get.
She walked in and put it in and walked away.
Dude, you gotta get on there, man.
Well, I only got it at like 7:30.
You gotta do it now. You should have made it. You should have been like, "Oh man, I can't make it to the podcast tonight. Something came up."
I can do that.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Yeah, I don't give too much away with the game, other than it's I'm enjoying it. I'll say that, and that's all I'll say.
No, I'm looking forward to getting on and playing it, man. But I mean, I see the guys in the chat talking, man. There's so many games, man.
I know shit's insane. I mean, I'm going back between Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda. I mean, it's just amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
But, John, what are your thoughts on Zelda, man, so far?
So, Legend of Zelda. You know what I really like about it is the fact that it seems to take, and you guys will think this is cliche coming from me, and it probably is, but it seems like it takes a lot of cues from Dark Souls, actually. In the sense that you've got weapons degradation, you've got a stamina meter when you're running that you got to constantly watch your stamina. Enemies are more. You don't find huge groups of enemies anymore. They're mostly groups of one or two. It's extremely difficult. Bosses are extremely difficult. There's not a whole lot of lore. It's not like a huge lore dump. I mean, there's more story than a Dark Souls game, but it's not like a huge exposition of lore or there's none of that. Which instantly makes it jump out to me. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like somebody got their Dark Souls in my Zelda. And I love it. And there's no tutorial. Like it's just like a Dark Souls game. Like you wake up and you go out in the world and here you are, and you're here. And
you even have to cook in the game, but there's no like instruction to show you how to cook.
Which is that there's no cup noodles, which upsets me. But aside from that,
no hand-picked ingredients with maximum flavor of beef, shrimp, and egg.
There's no fusion. There's no flavor fusion of egg, beef, and shrimp. Unfortunately, but that to me is the one thing that the game is missing is some fucking cup noodles.
Some cup noodles.
There's I actually found some. I was cooking some food in Zelda. I threw all my shit in the pot. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, these shrimp were not picked from over 60 varieties, obviously for the flavor and shape. And it really kind of got me down to the whole experience on a whole. So that kind of took me out. But aside from that, I mean, the lack of cup noodles brings it down to about a 9.5 for me.
Oh shit.
So that's me.
Game of the year.
It's up there. I mean, we live in a day and age where it's not even March yet, and I've already got it is March. It's not even April yet, and I'm tired. And I'm already talking about I've got 3 Game of the Year contenders, 3 solid Game of the Year contenders in Resident Evil 7, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Zelda. So,
and we got more coming.
We got more coming.
That's
talk about
that.
You're talking about a year when you've got You've got Mass Effect Andromeda. You've got Nier Automata, which I still haven't played. You've got
Shadow of War,
which looks fucking awesome. Red Dead Redemption 2, Destiny 2. I mean, Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, what the fuck is happening?
And that's the stuff we know about. There'll be games announced at E3 that come out this year.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I just. Not to get too off topic, but people say, "Oh, this generation sucks," and I'm like, I don't know what fucking crazy generation you guys are living in, but I have more games than I know what to do with.
Yeah, me too.
I literally, I'm not picking up Nier right off the bat because I'm bouncing back and forth between Zelda and Horizon, and then Mass Effect hits, and then Persona 5 hits, and I'm like, fuck, oh god, I can't handle this. I'm
kind of in a similar situation. That's why I haven't gotten into Nier yet, even though it looks phenomenal, because I'm bouncing between Halo Wars 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't get enough of either of those. And then soon enough, Mass Effect, like you said, is piping down. And then I've got my eyes on Prey, and it's just, ugh. Crazy.
Sam, it really disappoints me that you're playing Horizon. I thought you were Xbox strong, man.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
Hey, listen. Here's the thing.
Damn,
Let me make a quick note. I'm only about 10 hours in. So I mean only 10 hours, but I haven't beaten the game or anything. But it is very similar to The Witcher. There are a lot of different connections in like the gameplay and the mechanics, and I am really picking up on that. And I mean, spoiler alert, people who know me know I'm kind of sort of fond of that series. So I'm loving it. So.
Is it scratching the itch?
Oh yeah, it's scratching the itch.
Well,
Here's the thing. It is one of those games. It's oddly like Final Fantasy 15 in one way. It's a masterpiece that has a lot of nitpicky issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things I can nitpick about that game. I have a laundry list of them, like the waypoint system.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use it. The waypoint system in Horizon is terrible. I was stuck on one of the vantage points last night for nearly an hour before I finally figured out, oh, wait a minute. It's telling me to go into this skyscraper, but I actually need to be over in this one.
Yeah, that's your
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the game itself is phenomenal.
I mean,
Aloy is a phenomenal character. The mythology, like the Celtic matriarchal societies that humanity has sort of reverted back into. I could talk all night about that, so I won't. But it's great.
Can we talk about the fact that
great point, though, Sam.
and again, I'll say, Horizon Zero Dawn may be my game of the year, but I'm criticizing it because we have to criticize the things we love, God. Can we talk about the fact that the human AI is terrible?
The human AI is terrible.
That's atrocious.
The effort went into the machines for sure.
Awful. It makes me like I'm going for platinum, but it makes me not want to do the bandit camps because like I'll kill a guy with 3 arrows to the chest, and then they're like, we got an intruder, and then like 30 seconds later they're like, well, that's done.
There's a body,
and then they leave the fucking guy's body. Like what are we going to do about Bill's corpse? There's whatever.
And it sucks, right? Because like if you want the best experience against the machines, play on hard. I will tell you that it makes it awesome. But playing against the humans on hard, on the other hand, is a nightmare. You got these guys like some of the mooks in like the bandit camps, like you're talking about. They come up and hit you twice, and you're dead. That's it.
I'll tell you what, there is no other game that can replicate the feeling of fighting a fucking robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex with laser cannons mounted on its arms.
That's where it's at.
There's no and when I got to Meridian, and I looked out. Oh, that's not a spoiler. When I got to Meridian, and I looked out over the landscape, and I recommend if you're playing it and you get to Meridian, do this. Go to the elevators and look down, and you can see tiny little NPCs moving in real time. You can look off in the distance and see that Thunderjaw, a tiny little Thunderjaw, moving around on a ridge, and you can go down. You can run the 10 minutes it'll take you to get there, and he'll be there. And
that's insane.
And
that's
that level of detail is insane.
The reflection of the game's world in Aloy's eyes, if you zoom in.
I saw that. I saw a picture of that.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, who fucking thinks of that? Like, when I got to Meridian, I was like, this is, without a doubt, the most visually impressive game I have ever seen in my life. Jeez. I have never seen, and, like, some idiot on Twitter who will, remain nameless, tried coming back at me with, like, I can't remember who it was, actually, so that's why he's going to remain nameless, because I can't fucking remember who it was. But he was like, check out these shots of, Witcher 3. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but Horizon is a better looking game than Witcher 3. Like, and that's not because I don't like Witcher 3.
Yes. But, on PC, I can super sample the bejesus out of it. But so on console, yes.
Horizon is a better looking game than almost any PC game I've ever seen. The fact that I'll say this, I'm playing it on PS4 Pro. So I'm also playing it in 4K and HDR. But the fact that I'm playing this on a console kind of boggles and my console isn't melting under the strain kind of blows my fucking mind.
The Decima engine is great stuff.
And I think what's most impressive is that I think all of us were expecting kind of a shit story at a Guerrilla. And we didn't get one. I mean, the story is actually fucking fascinating.
That's because Guerrilla didn't do the story.
That's because they hired the guy who wrote the Bloody Mary quest, which is my thoughts on shit, garbage tier Witcher 3 combat aside. The Bloody Baron is one of the pinnacles of RPG quests. Period. Period. Like I will argue that shit. I'll die on that hill. Like even though I don't like the Witcher 3, that quest is fucking mid. That's actually where I was like, I don't want to play. I was like, I don't want to play anymore because this is the pinnacle. But everything else, like minor nitpicks aside, like traversal is great, combat with those dinosaurs is amazing, stealth is incredibly well integrated into the game. The tutorial is one of the most intuitive tutorials I've ever played.
Tutorial actually makes sense. It doesn't feel like forced handling.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, I don't. This is one of those. Maybe actually the only open world game that I do not fast travel because I just don't want to. I want to see more of that world. I want to see more of that world. I want to run through the grass. I want to climb the mountains. I want to see the glint hawks flying in the distance and the bellowbacks running through the fucking valley. And I can count on two fingers the amount of times I have fast traveled in that game, and it was just because like I wanted to get some shit done before I went to bed.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm not fast traveling, but that's because I want to collect all the stuff, like those coffee cups.
Well, like it's very.
Hey Sam, I'm with you on the coffee cups, man.
Well, it's very telling that you have to buy items to fast travel because it's very obvious that Gorilla wants you in the world experiencing this.
Yeah,
for sure.
John, last week we said this. We said take into consideration that as hard as it is to do an open world game, this is Gorilla's first attempt at an open world game.
So. You know what, man? Let's talk about this. This harkens back to a conversation that Sam and I had on Twitter a few weeks ago. As far as I'm concerned, Killzone is dead.
It's gone.
It's done. You're never going to see it again. But Killzone 5, there was that rumor. Oh, Killzone 5 is coming. I doubt it. I sincerely fucking doubt it. They would be fools to go back to Killzone now. I said on Twitter that. Somebody had said, well, Guerrilla Games is now on the level of Uncharted or of Naughty Dog and Playdead. And I'm like, let's pump the brakes a minute. Like, let's pump the brakes. One amazing game does not a trend make. They have to deliver again. I mean, I sincerely doubt it, but the inevitable Horizon sequel could be shit. Like, we don't know. You have to build, you have to establish a trend. They have struck gold with Horizon. I mean, it is the PS4. It is not just PS4s. It is Sony's highest-selling new IP ever.
That's insane.
Ever. Think about that for a minute. Like, it is their strongest-selling new IP ever. So they have got something huge in their hands. This is going to be this is their new Uncharted. Let's just call it what it is. This is their new Uncharted. This series is going to be huge. You really think that Sony is going to say, you know what? Go make us a Killzone game. No, they're not going to do that. Killzone is dead. And I think, Sam, I think you agreed with me. You said, we're done. Killzone is over. Like you will never see the continuation of that story ever again. And we don't need it because they weren't great games. But if they can deliver an even better game with Horizon, like if Horizon 2 is to Horizon what Uncharted 2 was to Uncharted, then yes, I would say that Guerrilla Games is reached that upper echelon. And I guarantee you they're hard at work on the sequel right fucking now.
I'll tell you what,
they're cranking right now.
I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with Sony's first party stables.
It's gotten a lot better. It has it's like an interesting sea change, right? Like and Xbox came out stronger in my opinion with first party titles at the beginning of the gen, and now that the story's kind of shifted. It was weird to me that, and Sam, you game primarily on Xbox, and so I'd love to hear your take on this. I mean, I was surprised at the lack of marketing for Halo Wars 2. I understand that it's not a AAA in the sense that, like, Halo 6 will be a AAA or Gears of War 4 was a AAA, but it still has the Halo brand, and I expected there to be more. I expected there to be a bigger marketing push, and I understand that RTS games on console are niche.
Sorry, go ahead and finish before I'll talk.
No. I was just going to say, but it's also the highest rated RTS game on consoles ever was Halo Wars.
Yeah, it is.
So
Halo Wars 2. So, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those things where it's sort of with an RTS, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't on console. Because here's the problem with the Halo community right now, and this is something that I know a lot of people will disagree with me on, but so be it. People want it to change, and they don't want it to change. People say, "Oh, well, we want them to branch out." Whoa, wait a minute! An RTS doesn't appeal to everybody. It's like, okay, you can't have it both ways. You know, they're taking a risk by pulling a sequel on something for a genre that simply has never taken off on console before to a game that came out in 2008. That screams taking a step out to me. And if you've played Halo Wars 2, you know that the story is actually phenomenal. Like, it blows anything in Halo 5 or Halo 4 out of the water. And I guarantee you, this is where the story in the inevitable Halo 6 goes, is with Atriox and with all this stuff going on in Halo Wars 2. I guarantee you that. But I mean, I saw a lot of marketing. There was a bunch of stuff on YouTube. You had, you know, the car ads and stuff, and they did like a 48-hour live stream with Phil and Aaron and Major Nelson, you know, of the game. So, I mean, I think ultimately it's just one of those things where it's like you have to weigh the amount of resources you apply to something carefully. And I think they gave it as much as it really needed to have, because evidently it's doing well. I mean, it jumped to #1 on the UK charts, at least before Horizon Zero Dawn came out. It was it dominated For Honor, knocked it right off. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I still don't say. I was gonna say, I know we were talking about this earlier on Twitter. I still don't. The reason I say I don't think it's taking a risk is because it's RTS in a play anywhere type of world, so they can get console and now they can get PC.
Yeah, but how many people are using the Windows Store? That's not on Steam. You got to keep that in mind. I mean, sure, they're trying to get people on the Windows Store, and it's getting a lot better, but it still has its problems. It's not like it has an established following of millions like Steam does.
And I would also say if they are doing the Halo Wars 2 story to carry over into something else, then they're going to be right back at square one with what they did with Halo 5, where you had to follow all this outside lore to try to get back to XYZ. You know, I understand what you're saying, where it's like they took a risk by doing another RTS, but I just don't think it was all that risky for them to do Halo Wars 2 by putting Halo on it again and doing an RTS. When I say risk, I'm thinking where, like we talked about earlier, I think it got missed when I said I like Reach. I thought Reach was something different. People hated it at the time.
Reach was a good game.
ODST.
I didn't like Reach. Not the story, anyways.
But at least they took a chance and they broke away from trying to do, you know, the Chief thing. I do think that they kind of hold on for good reason, but I think they need to kind of branch outside of that. I'm not trying to take us into this whole other area. I'm just kind of addressing what you were just saying about the risk thing.
I think last week I said they should kill Master Chief.
I personally think they should do an Uncharted and just end the fucking series and do something new.
Segway.
That's what I think.
You think they should do like what they do with Uncharted?
Yeah, and just kill it. And
that's what I said last week. I think they should too. I think they should let 343 do. And this has been my biggest criticism on Microsoft's first-party studios, that Microsoft doesn't seem like they don't want to let their studios work on other franchises, and they just want to milk the Gears, the Halos.
But at the same time, Enrique, I understand the hesitancy because Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break did not sell well.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
And that's another.
That's the difference between Sony and Microsoft, though. Like,
but why though? Like, I think that right there is an interesting conversation. Like, why are new Sony IPs selling better than Microsoft's new IPs? Like what's up with that? I don't understand.
Well, I think internally, there's a difference between Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. And actually, Seamus Blackley, he was on TXR. I think it was last Monday, and he talked about. I think this question came up with why is it that Microsoft seems a little bit quick on the trigger to cancel some of the projects? Why is it that Sony and Nintendo seem to give their games a little more development time? Right? I mean, how long? Neo was what, like 12? Maybe not 12 years of development. Like
no, it was like 10. But I mean, it was a long time. It was a long fucking time. I mean, that was supposed to be like a PS2 game, I believe.
Yeah, we all know about The Last Guardian, right? Horizon was first, I think, revealed at GDC in 2011. So it's what, 6 years, from the time that we heard about until release. And what Shane was saying, and Seamus is the father of the Xbox. He's saying the difference is the culture that with Sony has been in the entertainment world for years. You know, with movies, with music, right? Nintendo, we know what Nintendo does. Nintendo's always done games. Microsoft's a software company. They make software. They make operating systems. You know, up until recently, I think he was saying that Microsoft Office was like the most bought or most successful product ever made by mankind or something. I mean, I don't know if that's true. That's what he said. And so internally, I think what he was saying was Phil's uphill battle is convincing the suits there that don't understand game development and don't have that perspective of working for an entertainment company the way a lot of the Sony execs do, that they are very risk adverse, and it's a big reason why they probably aren't open to the ideas of new first party IPs and more open to the ideas of like games of services, games like Halo, games like Gears, because they're proven commodities. They know that they're going to get home runs every time those games come out.
But I don't know, like
I guarantee you, they still have new first-party stuff they're working on.
I mean, I would
some
hope
of those
so.
old IPs are coming back at E3. I guarantee it.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I hope they do. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's just
you got inside scoop.
Yeah, I mean, if you you got some nuggets,
or you just going off of.
I'm biting my tongue.
So look, here's. I tweeted out the other week, a list of, what's funny is I tweeted out a list of games that need to come back in the list of games, or a list of series that need to come back in the list of series that need to die. And of course, the list of series that need to die is the one everybody wanted to focus on, because there were some Microsoft titles out there, and people chose to ignore the fact that, I said, Uncharted needs to never come back. But I feel like, Microsoft's got a problem, and here's the problem. I do believe, and for certain individuals who I know watch this podcast, they'll say, "Oh, John's fanboying out," but this is just a simple truth. I feel like it's time for Gears of War and Halo to go away, and it's time for something to take their place. What they need to do is find something that resonates with Xbox gamers. Obviously, Horizon has resonated with a huge portion of PS4 gamers. So I think honestly, do something similar, Microsoft. Do something similar. Halo. I mean, if you'll notice, Halo 5 did not review as well as past Halo games. Gears of War 4 was not received as well as past Gears of War games.
True, but we've also talked about the Metacritic difference that's happened.
That's true. That's very true. But I'm talking about I'm not talking about from reviewers. I'm talking about from gamers. Like, people had huge problems with Halo 5's story. And I think part of that onus falls on Microsoft, because I don't feel like the marketing campaign for Halo 5 accurately depicted what the story was.
No, there was a different story going on there. I mean, we've talked about that before, but I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened either. But I mean, the marketing for Halo 5 very clearly set up a conflict between Master Chief and Locke, and when you play the game, that's not what happens at all. Which is fine, which is why I feel like part of the onus is on Microsoft. But these games they did not have the impact on Xbox gamers that Microsoft had anticipated, nor that I had anticipated. And
from the multiplayer side, it has.
And for the multiplayer side, it has, but these games also did not sell as well as past iterations, especially
Halo. That's actually untrue. Gears, yes, but Halo, that's untrue. Halo did 5 million copies in the first 3 months.
But that's fine. But what are the sales now? I
don't know.
So from what I heard, Halo 5 sales have topped out at around a little over 6 million, which is nothing to sneeze at. But that also falls short of what Halo 4 sold by a good million something copies, maybe more. Gears of War 4, I know for a fact, has underperformed as compared to Gears of War 3. It still sold fine, but it did not perform the way that Gears of War 3 did. I feel like these series are not as relevant as they used to be, which is why I'm glad that Sony kind of ended Uncharted when they did, because it was time for that series to go. Like you don't want to. I compare it to the TV show Lost, right? Like I love Lost.
By the way, John, Naughty Dog's pretty much confirmed that the series is done with.
And
they said that they would be open to working on it again.
Sort of.
Well, sort of, yeah. But I mean,
you've got the Lost chapter coming out.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, we're not going to do it, and if somebody else wants to do it, I personally think stay the fuck away from it. Don't let anybody but Naughty Dog do that. I don't want another one. Like I love Uncharted. I don't want another Uncharted. The story wrapped up just beautifully, wrapped up fine. But I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like Xbox is in between a rock and a hard place. I mean, and that ties directly into the Scorpio, which I'm very much looking forward to what this is actually going to be called, because they're not going to stick with Scorpio. I'm guessing like Xbox One Elite or something like that. It's going to be
Elite has been done. It'll be Xbox One Ultra
or Ultra or something like that. Yeah,
think about like Ultra HD definition, 4K.
You know what I want them to do is called Xbox One Flex. That's what I want.
The Flex.
Tight.
Welcome to the Flex.
Welcome to the Flex. Yeah, right. Yeah, something like that. Do you even lift PS4? But it makes me wonder what they're going to have, because I mean they need something really impressive for when the Scorpio launches, and it's not going to be Gears of War, it's not going to be Halo. I mean, obviously Crackdown 3, but I don't feel like the Crackdown series resonates. I don't feel like Crackdown has the same gravitas that like a Halo or a Gears of War would have, even in this day and age. So I feel like Microsoft's in a tough spot.
Shadow War is going to be a Scorpio game. That was
it might as well be an exclusive because it's going to look better.
And they have a marketing the marketing thing to it too,
which is good. They need that.
And that game is dropping in August, which this is kind of, I mean, it's related to Xbox, but not really. More for the game. I'm glad it's dropping in August, away from fall titles.
That's when it needs, because it would get a fucking obliterated next to Destiny 2 and Red Dead.
And this is kind of an awkward time to say it, but Shadow of War looks awesome. I just want to put
that new game trailer looked fucking awesome. The new footage they put out.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm not going to say that Xbox is in trouble, because they're not.
No, they're not in trouble.
But I feel like they could be, because not only are they having trouble. And a lot of people are going to say, John, you're fanboying out, but this is just a simple fact. I mean, they're having trouble getting new IPs to resonate with their audience. And that's, I mean, Record didn't sell great. Quantum Break didn't sell great. In fact, Quantum Break undersold so badly that it basically ended their relationship with Remedy. Sunset Overdrive is not getting a sequel specifically because it did not sell well.
And isn't Insomniac's open to it?
They're open to it, but I guarantee you it'll be multi-plat if it happens.
Yeah.
If they're so open to it. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
if they're so open to it and they made a big point of bragging about how they own the IP, why haven't they done it yet? That begs the question to me.
Because I think they're working on Spider-Man, and two, I don't think it's worth it for them. Like I just don't. I think they're open to it. I think they say that because they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're open to it, but I don't really expect a sequel to Sunset Overdrive, even though I'd love one because I played it and I loved it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Risk comes in. Like, to me, again, Risk isn't doing like Halo Wars 2. It's Halo. Mm-hmm. They go back to Halo because Halo for them has always been the thing that brought in the dough. Risk would be figuring out a way of fronting the money to do Rise 2, Sunset Overdrive 2. These games that fans have been asking for. Like, we want to see another one. It shouldn't just be one done because it didn't sell well.
They offered to buy the Rise IP and Crytek turned them down. Well, and then you saw how Crytek is doing as of late.
But so all right. So let's let's ask this: like, how does Microsoft? Because I mean, nobody can deny that they've got an issue. I mean, Scalebound was canceled, Fable Legends was canceled, that game Ion was canceled. Just like the other
no one cared about Ion.
No one cared. No, no one cared about it. But at the same time, you have to include. I mean, they've got they have a first party problem.
And there were rumored too that Phil walked away from that exclusive from what's it called, from Playground.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I've heard a couple of things. I would be very careful about spreading that rumor.
Yeah,
I would be very careful about spreading that.
It's out there, So, I mean,
I don't know if it's. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know if that's true or not. But I will say that Microsoft has an issue. So how do they fix it? I think they can fix it.
Here's what you do. You have Turn 10, the Coalition, and 343 Industries. All three have proven their worth. They have proven, they can do what they do. So, alternate the franchises. Even if you're not killing Gears or Halo off, which I don't think you should, but I know I'm in the minority on this podcast for that, so whatever. Give them something else to work on. Give them a new IP. 3-year development time. In 6 years without a Halo, that's a really long time, and it might make people miss it. That might make people want what made that game special again, and it gives them time to work on something else. Like, let's say that 343 Industries, instead of working on Halo 6, puts it aside and works on a new RPG. And the Coalition is working on a horror game instead of the next Gears. You see what I'm saying? That would be my ideal take right now, based off of where they're at.
Mm-hmm. John, I can see that.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I'm saying with Sam, I can see that. And I think that would actually be a good idea. But I would counterpoint and kind of argue with you and say Coalition delivered a Gears game, but to me, I wouldn't say that they necessarily proved themselves. I think they played a very safe Gears of War game. So to me, this is just me speaking as a Gears of War fan, from day one. If they come with the next Gears and it's almost the same type of gameplay as like Gears 4, I'm going to be done.
And that's fair, but I mean, I don't want to devolve into that conversation because they have. I don't want to get into that right
now. No, but my point is,
I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, but that's not going to happen.
I would like to see them do something different, but I would also like, if they're going to do the next Gears, to make it not wildly different, but to introduce something new to the series. And to me, that's just. I'm agreeing with you is what I'm saying, but I would like to see them, because I think they're a very capable studio. I would like to see what else they could do.
Yeah, Frankie in the live chat said they should work on that demo they shut off when they were Black Tusk.
Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai.
Which isn't dead, by the way. I looked into that. They do still have the IP active. It's just it's not being developed actively right now.
Yeah. John, you asked a question. I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying, but it hasn't actually been killed off in the sense that a lot of people think. It's just on hold right now.
On hold. Okay. John, you asked a question like, why aren't some of these new IPs like Sunset Overdrive?
Why aren't they resonating?
And it could be that people, because we've gotten really kind of just Microsoft has really kind of beaten this into our head that the Xbox is the place where you play Gears and Halo. And so, and that's pretty much it in terms of first party from them. And everything else after that is Call of Duty, Battlefield, Madden, NFL. And I feel like maybe that's why. Maybe because the Xbox is kind of known as the box of, a handful of franchises that you actually buy as a gamer. Maybe that's it.
I can't agree to that, though. I mean, I loved Quantum Break. What can I say?
I mean, no, look, Sam, I thought Quantum Break was a good game. It wasn't Remedy's best foot forward, though. I mean, it wasn't. It almost felt like a 360.
No, a lot of people throw Masterpiece on that one too, and I go back at them like every Xbox exclusive can be a masterpiece.
Yeah, but I
PlayStation like exclusive a masterpiece. So that was a really good game.
But then you take some of these Sony franchises, these games that come out, and they sell well. It's like why? Like John said, why are those games doing better? And is it because Sony has gotten their base accustomed to playing new IPs, trying different things? I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm just
it's just strange. It's strange. I don't know.
Yeah, it is strange.
I don't really have an explanation for it.
I think this is a conversation we should have after their E3. And the reason I say that, it's not a cop-out. It's just I think that we will know for better or for worse what it is they're doing at that point.
Right. Yeah.
We will know what games. Sorry, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No, I didn't cut you off. I'm saying I was going to agree with you and say, yeah, we really don't know anything until the E3 happens, because for all intents and purposes, they haven't had much to say.
Yeah, what's interesting, Maddie, the live chat.
It's that Scorpio. Every now and again they come with, who's ready for the year of Scorpio? And I'm like, shut up.
For better or worse, they're holding all their cards till then. For better or worse. Except for, evidently, we may get to see what the console actually looks like before then. Which I hope we do.
Right. But I think that could be a dangerous game, too. When you don't have anything to say, but you're hyping this thing and that thing, or you're putting it all, like, wait till E3, because remember, first of the year, Aaron came out, Year of the Scorpio, and then a month later, Major Nelson's like, got all these emails that can only mean one thing, E3, but between January to that point, it's a long time, and you're not really saying anything except for Voodoo Vince and Phantom Dust, and you're kind of saying, okay, Scorpio's coming, and then we have these things at E3, but no one really knows what any of it is, which is good. Fine, keep some secrets, make some surprises, but man, that's like, there's a lot riding on E3 with that.
Yeah. Hey, John, I was actually called a pony recently. That was interesting.
Pony.
No, John, since you've been gone the last couple of weeks, I've been on the pony dust.
smoking that pony pole, huh?
I've been sniffing a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look what Sony's done. I mean, we talked about all the great games that have dropped so early in this year. A lot of them are exclusive to the Sony console right now, to the PlayStation 4.
And yet I'm still more excited about what the Switch offers.
Switch.
Like
the possibilities.
So like not so much the games, because there's I don't know. I mean, other than Mario Odyssey, I mean, there's some games coming up, but I am, and of course I'm incredibly excited about a lot of PS4 games and a lot of games coming out in general. But the thing that excites me more than anything else is the potential that the Switch holds for gaming. And I think, and again, I can't stress this enough. I feel like this is the sea change that the console industry, that gaming needed. I think it's really gonna. I think and I hope that it's really gonna shake things up, because I think Nintendo has something really special in their hands here. I think it's very telling that that me, somebody who is so ingrained into the PS, into the Sony ecosystem. Maybe it's where all my trophies are. I've been playing Sony's System 6 and the original PlayStation, and all of a sudden the Switch comes and just flips everything on its head, and I'm like, holy shit, I fucking love this thing. And so yeah, I mean, will it replace the PS4 or would it replace like the Xbox for Enrique or for Sam? Probably not, but that's not the point.
Right, it doesn't need to.
That's not the point of the Switch. The Switch is, people say, oh, it's a secondary console. I don't see it that way. I see it as a complementary console.
It's doing its own thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I see it as complementing.
Nice set of tits.
I see it as complementing your.
Sam, you had to get one in there, right?
Of course he did. Of course he did.
I see it as complementing your console of choice, not acting as a secondary console.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the Switch has more potential, raw potential, than either the PS4 or the Xbox One. Suck it, fanboys. Like,
I mean, crazy by nature of the hardware. You're right.
But no power.
Yeah, it doesn't have any power. It can't
power.
You can't play my Call of Duty. You can't play my games in 4K.
It doesn't have enough keys.
It's not checkerboard in my 4K.
It's not checkerboard in my 4K.
John, you got checkerboards. I'm going to have real K.
You got that real K. But yeah, that's like, and I feel like fanboys on either side are completely missing the mark here. Like, you have guys, and we all know who they are. We don't need to mention them by name. You have guys on the other side screaming about power back and forth, and meanwhile, I'm in the middle saying, I'm all about innovation. I'm all about changing the way we absorb games and changing the way we play games and changing the way that we experience this medium that we love. And the Switch represents a step in the right direction for that. I mean, the games will never look quite as good as what you'll find on the PS4 or the Xbox One. But that's not the point. Like Dark Souls. Take Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls, it looked okay. It ran like fucking shit. Especially during Blighttown, it was so fucking so cinematic. I love the cinematic.
8 frames a second cinematic action.
Cinematic as fuck. And
6 frames exclusive to the PS3.
Right? Yeah. Those extra 2 frames are DLC. But you know what? I mean, fuck if Dark Souls was not my game of the generation. Because
it's an experience like no other.
Because there is I don't care how poorly the game ran in Blighttown. I don't care how much better Skyrim. People said Skyrim looked. There is no feeling in the world like soloing Ornstein and Smoke for the first time. There's just nothing. There's nothing that tops that. And the sense of wonder so yeah, I mean, that was my game of the generation, and it didn't have the flashiest graphics, it didn't run the best. It just fucking grabbed me, and the Switch just grabs me. It grabs me in a way that the PS4 and the Xbox One have not. And I'm not taking anything away from these consoles. They're great fucking consoles, both of them. But the potential of this little handheld, slash console is just unbelievable to me. And like I said, all Nintendo has to do is just nail those things down that gamers want, that gamers expect. And I feel like GameStop is right. Nintendo is back.
Mm.
We should all be happy about it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the industry.
Yeah.
If the Switch sells well, that means more money in the pockets of the gaming industry, and that is a good thing for everybody.
Absolutely.
You gotta spread the wealth around. When you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody. So,
yeah, B-Buddy, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, B?
my fellow man from Chicago.
Yeah, man, what's going
I
on?
like it.
So B-Buddy, you picked up a Switch. You agree with what John said about the potential?
Yeah, man, I totally agree. That's something I talked about before it even released, and a lot of people, try to shoot me down and trying to, shut me up about talking about the Switch and the potential that the console had, and like John said, I think with the release of the console and the popularity that it has, and the ability to be able to take the console with you at any given time with console games on the go. I mean, that's something that we just haven't seen from any other platform, and I think if Nintendo just continues to nail it, get some third-party support there, and continue to deliver games, they'll be just fine, man.
Well, B-Money, people say, but it's not going to have Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, I don't think it needs them.
It doesn't, man.
Like, I don't. That's not why I'm playing the system. Like, if I can take these amazing Nintendo exclusives wherever, and let's face it, I've said it before on this, I've said it before on STGC, and I stand by it. People can argue back and forth all day about which console has the better, exclusive stable, PS4 or Xbox One, but they both pale in comparison to what Nintendo has. Nobody has a stronger stable of first-party games than Nintendo, than the House of fucking Mario. I'm sorry, but they don't. They don't. And
my 2-year-old daughter knows who Mario is. She doesn't have a clue who Master Chief or Nathan Drake.
Or fucking Nathan Drake, yeah. Like, these games sell better than most PS4 and Xbox One exclusives. People who buy Nintendo consoles buy the fucking games because they're good. They're all good. I don't think I've ever played a subpar Nintendo exclusive. Very rarely has that ever happened. The fucking launch title for this thing is the 4th highest rated game of all time. Would I say that buying a Switch for Zelda is worth it? Yeah. Yeah, I would. The game is that fucking good. That's just my opinion. And people are free to disagree with it, but that's what I think.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. The potential is what really intrigues me with the Switch. The ability to experience gaming in different ways we haven't experienced before. Like the fact that I get to fucking take my Switch with me and play Zelda at lunch. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's like
I'm so jealous.
Like I've never. I mean, but think a game of that quality that I could play on my TV or I could take with me. I've never had that opportunity before, and if I did, it wasn't on the same scale as Zelda Breath of. I can never remember the fucking name of the game.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I always want to call it Breath of the Wind.
Breath of the Wind.
Yeah, I'm a casual. I own 3 fucking game consoles on the couch. Yeah, but I mean, I can't even imagine playing some of the other. I mean, if the Dark Souls thing rumor is true, I mean, I'll every day at lunch I'll be playing that on the Switch.
Dude, I guarantee you that fucking dude when Metroid Prime is announced, oh my lord! And it was I'll put a bet on it right now that Metroid Prime gets announced at E3. It's coming.
Yep, I totally agree.
It's coming.
And
when Retro's been working on a game for 3 years, and when they tweeted out a picture of that Prime Rib and said their next game is delicious, I'm like, yeah, it's Metroid Prime.
Prime Rib's good.
And I will eat that shit up because it has been too fucking long since we got a Metroid game.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, do you think that keeps falling on deaf ears? Because I mean, they've heard people begging, pleading, asking, and then after the debacle of what was it, Metroid?
Federation Force.
Oh god.
They had some balls to put that up. They knew for a fact that fans were gonna go ape shit over that.
Star Fox, the last Star Fox.
Your fucking console games wherever you go now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that blows my fucking mind.
Really can't be overstated.
I mean, I just like, I mean, like the thing that shocked me the most is that it works. Like you pull that thing out, you plug it back in, and it's instantaneous. And I'm like, wow, holy shit! Like this thing is dangerous for people's productivity.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, I mean, damn, dude, if Dark Souls came out for the Switch, I would quit my fucking job.
But think about this, like you brought up Call of Duty. I mean, it could still have Call of Duty. It could have the older Call of Duties.
I wouldn't want them on this though. I don't want to play Call of Duty. I don't want to play Call of Duty, period, until they take it back to the Revolutionary War. If you're listening, Infinity Ward,
Call of Duty, bring out the muskets.
No, Call of Duty, Revolutionary Warfare. It fucking writes itself.
Revolutionary Warfare.
Come on,
the muskets.
It fucking writes itself. How is that not a thing?
Get your customized musket.
How is Call of Duty? How is Call of Duty Revolutionary Warfare not a fucking thing? One, the name just fucking rolls off the tongue.
Sounds good, but
butter.
But are people gonna want to play with fucking muskets?
Yes.
No,
yes.
I don't think so.
Dude, like Mel Gibson at the Patriots. Absolutely.
What would you have said before you knew about Far Cry Primal, and somebody had said, "Hey, what about a Far Cry game, but you're a fucking caveman?"
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, but that's different.
Like, no. How is it different?
Because like people are used to like
no.
You know, here you got to like put the gunpowder and
exactly, dude. That would be, but no. Do it like Sam said, and make you're a fucking Minuteman doing raids in the fucking red coats. And dude, you've instead of going in guns blazing, you've got to plan your fucking attack. Because
plant rifles around the swamp and stuff like that. You know, you got a tomahawk, as many pistols as you can shove in your belt.
You got your fucking flintlock pistol, and you've got to account for the fact that you've got to reload. You've got to freaking draw your powder. I mean,
Stamp had me a tomahawk.
So fucking awesome. That would be so fucking awesome. And there was still a lot.
King George.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and there was a lot of hand-to-hand combat back then because people would fix bayonets all the time. When I was at war in 2005, if you heard fixed bayonets, shit was about to get real. When you heard. I never heard it, but we were always waiting for it. We were like, I'm waiting to hear fixed bayonets because then I know, I'm like, well, it was nice knowing you, I guess. Like, here we go. But Matty Beast in chat says Call of Duty Civil Warfare. I know, no more Marvel games. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, Call of Duty, that's the thing, Far Cry took a risk, and that gets back to what we were talking about with Microsoft. Is
create a risk,
take risks. That's what you got to do. And I feel like Call of Duty, if you did something that nobody was expecting, like Revolutionary Warfare, or Civil War, or the War of 1812, or the fucking Spanish American War,
people believe the War of 1812 was fantasy.
Call of Duty. Call of Duty set during the fucking Renaissance. I mean, something to shake. Dude, no, you think I'm fucking around, but something drastic to change the game, to shake the series up. No more
Chivalrous Warfare.
Chivalrous Warfare. That's fucking awesome, dude. That is fucking awesome. I mean, we've already got For Honor, but that is. That's a fucking outstanding name, by the way. Chivalrous Warfare is fucking
a proper Roman game.
I'm getting that trademark.
but do something to, or Call of Duty. It's set during the Korean War or during the Gulf War, or or some kind of weird alternate history. No more of the space shit. No more flying around.
Well, they're gonna bring it back. They're gonna bring it back.
So the rumor I heard is that they're gonna bring it back to Vietnam, and I'm like, okay. We're getting a horror game based on Apocalypse Now, which to me sounds a lot more fucking intriguing.
The what now?
You didn't know? Yeah, we're getting a horror game based on Apocalypse Now.
Nice.
And
give me the details.
Oh god, who's the dead? I'm gonna look it up right fucking now.
Give me.
I can't believe it.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, hold on. I can go in real time.
Hey, B Money, real quick, man, because we were talking about MS and what the challenges they have with regards to game development or trying new things, man. What do you think?
I mean, I've talked about this before, but one of the main things that they need to do is when they work with like third party, second parties, they need to send some of their devs over there to work on those games too. Because I feel like, every second party, third party game that's released within the last year or so has been okay. Besides like Halo Wars 2, which has a pretty high rating. But Quantum Break didn't fare well. Record didn't fare well. Scalebound is no more. So I feel like whenever they have those partnerships, they kind of have to support those games as well, like they would if they were 343 or the coalition working on those titles, because they say they have all these IPs, but when they put them out, they just are not up to par. When you think of a Microsoft game, you think of the quality of games like Halo and Gears and Fable at a time, and the quality of those other IPs just isn't up to par. So
work on seeding their first party talent into those other studios that they're working with, like Creative Assembly.
Yep, I would definitely do that.
Okay.
Yep,
I'd agree with that.
So that way you kind of have a little bit of hold of what's going on there. And if the game is in trouble, they can kind of bring it back to the right side. So I would work on that first. We know they don't have a bunch of studios, as it is. So if they're going to work on those partnerships, that's definitely something they need to do.
Yeah.
I know you guys were talking about taking risk. I think like they've taken risk with some of the games that they put out. Recore was something that they haven't done in a while. Action platformer like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Quantum Break was somewhat of a risk too. You've never seen a game with a TV show built into it. So they've taken risks, but there's also different genres they can deep dive into as well and see what they can do with that.
Yeah.
So Apocalypse Now the game.
All right.
I've got some screens too. Francis Ford Coppola's American Zoetrope is teaming up with a crack team of game industry veterans to turn classic war movie Apocalypse Now into a crowdfunded psychological horror role-playing game. It's been nearly 4 decades since Francis Coppola turned Joseph Conrad's 1899 novella Hearts of Darkness into a Vietnam-era war film featuring a surprisingly overweight and unsurprisingly belligerent Marlon Brando and Martin Sheen, who suffered a near-fatal heart attack on set. Despite the infamous difficulty filming, Apocalypse Now remains one of the most critically acclaimed films of all time. Today, Coppola's film studio, American Zoetrope, is teaming up with video game development veterans to turn the film into a video game for real this time. 40 years ago, I set out to make a personal art picture that could hopefully influence generations of viewers for years to come. Today, I'm joined by new daredevils, a team who want to make an interactive version of Apocalypse Now, where you are Captain Benjamin Willard amidst the harsh backdrop of the Vietnam War. I've been watching video games grow into a meaningful way to tell stories, and I'm excited to explore the possibilities for Apocalypse Now for a new platform and a new generation. The Apocalypse Now game will blend cinematic storytelling with role-playing mechanics. Players take on the role of Captain Willard on his mission to assassinate the renegade Colonel Kurtz. As the game progresses, players will face choices that allow them to diverge from the original narrative, making their own way through the horrors of the Vietnam War. From their website, it says here, Apocalypse Now is going to be a video game. You are an assassin. You've been given the most dangerous, most secret, and most controversial Special Forces mission in U.S. history, but this game is not Call of Duty Vietnam. You will sneak, you will hide, you will gather resources, you will build your character, you will kill when necessary. We're making a first-person perspective survival and horror role-playing game. Tension, tactical decision-making. Some outcomes determined by player skill and some by character skill. Psychological decision-making in your dialogues with other characters. And a heavy emphasis on an RPG-like narrative with branching outcomes. You will explore the jungles and rivers of Vietnam in first-person perspective. You will join a crew of rock and rollers with one foot in their grave. It's like Fallout New Vegas on acid in the middle of the Vietnam War. Your ultimate mission is to assassinate Colonel Kurtz, a rogue American officer who is accused of forming a private army and operating totally beyond the pale of any acceptable human conduct. Combat is often your last resort. The wise soldier will avoid the ever-looming enemy at all costs. Maintaining resources and relationships is key to your survival and your success. You will play Captain Willard, and you have a mission, but between receiving your mission in the hotel room and meeting Colonel Kurtz, how you journey upriver on PBR Street Gang is up to you. You will engage in dialogue like in most role-playing games, but you are a Special Forces operative, so your dialogue will be like Captain Willard's dialogue. You aren't chatty, you get to the point, but you are friendly and charming when you want to be. You are alienated. You are entertaining alternate points of view about the war in the world, but you are also an assassin. An assassin doesn't fire their weapon unless they have to. So you will creep through the jungle. You will engage in stealth gameplay. Yada, yada, yada. This sounds fucking great.
Okay, so yeah,
great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Sounds promising.
And this actually kind of fills the void I wanted when I found out that 6 Days in Fallujah was canceled so long ago. If you guys were not familiar with that, 6 Days in Fallujah was supposed to be a third-person horror game set during the Operation Iraqi Freedom, which I fought in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be a psychological horror game, not a war game. And it was canceled because they said, "Oh, well, it's too close to home." And I would have loved that fucking game. But I feel like you guys know me; I love horror games, and I feel like war is such a human conflict is a really, really untapped resource in providing a real visceral horror experience in gaming. And I feel like, this is something I've wanted for a long time. It's an untapped resource, and I'm glad we're finally going to get it. And what better platform to use for something like this than Apocalypse Now?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can't fucking wait.
No,
I'm surprised you didn't know about that.
No, I did. I don't know how I didn't know about that, but yeah.
Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam.
Sam. Seriously.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, I have to get going because I've got to pack and get up in the morning and hop on a fucking plane.
Yeah, I was actually going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast, man. Because we're at almost at the 11 o'clock mark here. But yeah, if anyone doesn't have anything else they want to talk about quickly, we'll go ahead and wrap up. John, man, great having you back, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Great, talking to you about the video GOMs and the NX.
I probably talk way too fucking much, but I haven't been on in a while. So.
Nah, man. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. Like I said, it's been a while, and we look forward to getting your listening to some of your stories from PAX next week, man. I'm
looking forward to telling them.
Yeah. So big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Always a great chat. Love that we don't have any of that fanboy shit going on. We can actually have a honest conversation amongst gamers, and it doesn't get out of control. Although I think, was it 2 weeks ago we had to drop the ban hammer on a couple guys?
What was that? That was weird. We had 4 people.
Yeah, it was weird.
Was crazy.
Well, you and Al were in there just dropping the hammer on people.
What was happening?
We had a bunch of I'm gonna call it what it was. It was a lot of Sony fanboys, being perfectly honest with you. Except I think it was probably Chuck Liddell's 300,000th account. Or something like that. It was some nonsense going on.
X-Fags, fucking.
Oh yeah, it was kind of
Xbox got no games. Halo Wars 2 is averaging a 2 on Metacritic. It's dude, what are you going on about? Do you want to actually talk about something?
It was ridiculous. They were trolling.
Got to block them all.
Yeah. So Al and Sam were there just dropping the ban hammers on people. Al doesn't fuck around.
Al doesn't fuck around, dude.
No, man.
Al doesn't fuck around. Chucky Liddell is actually one of the few guys I do have blocked. I did block him because I couldn't fucking take it. I was Jesus.
But so big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you again for tuning in tonight, and we'll catch everyone next week again, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna have Mike, aka Inferno, from Four Guys with Quarters and TXR Podcast. He's gonna be joining us next week to also give us some of his insight into PAX East and talk about some of the games he played. John, you're gonna be hanging out with him, so
yeah, I will.
That's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna have a couple drinks, man.
Nice, man. Nice. All right, well, gentlemen, as always, thank you, and we'll catch everyone again next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to check out our sister podcast, Super Deformed Gamescast, which goes live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys will be broadcasting live from PAX East.
A couple of us will be in the same room for the first fucking time ever.
In a hotel room.
With a
That'd be interesting.
Pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, you guys should do it at the hotel bar. I don't know. Maybe that's too loud for you
We're
guys.
gonna be doing some drunk 1-2 switch. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
Oh God, milking.
Oh, 3 guys in one room, dude. There's gonna be all kinds of milking going on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And Susan Arndt's going to be breaking that podcast up? Is
You're
that
gonna be kicking that door down and crashing the podcast, man.
reminds me of the guy when John, when you were on the podcast with us, the guy walked into your room?
Oh yeah, when I was in the hotel, the guy walked,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
is there anything left in the fridge? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
That was hilarious. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to try to go back and play some Horizon Zero Dawn. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go play some Zelda. Might do that.
I'm gonna go packing. Fuck
Yeah, problems to have, man.
Yeah, man. It's good problems to have. All right, everyone. We'll catch you guys next week. See ya. Peace.
Later, guys.
Peace.